Hello and welcome to another update video about AVAX Avalanche. AVAX is still in this descending channel. We talked about it in the last video. We mentioned it when AVAX moved up here that it would probably have difficulties to push through this resistance level of this descending channel. And the breakout point was at $90 back then. It did struggle to push through. At the moment, the breakout point, because it's a descending trend line, would be at around 86, 87 US dollars. At the moment, also AVAX has fallen again below the 50-day moving average and below the 200-day moving average. And AVAX also printed here a bearish cross. Oh no, sorry, a death cross. Yeah, so we have the 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average. I mean, I never really interpret too much into this, but it just means that a cryptocurrency or generally an asset is in a downtrend, and it is more like a psychological effect, you know. I mean, people see it coming. It's not like because we have a death cross the price now has to fall, but it's more a result of what happened already in the last few weeks, and it is a sign that a asset, in this case AVAX, is in a downtrend. Because otherwise it wouldn't happen. It means basically that while the 200-day moving average is still going up, and we are probably in a longer term uptrend, the medium term, like the 50-day moving average, yeah, this is going down and has changed direction here. Basically, you can see where it changed direction on the 3rd of January, and then it has now crossed it to the downside. So unless the price of AVAX now really breaks out of this channel to the upside, and again, the breakout point would be $87, unless that happens, this death cross will probably persist, because if it breaks above it, then the 50-day moving average will be able to turn around and, yeah, basically invalidate this death cross again and get a golden cross, a so-called golden cross, which is the opposite of that so-called death cross. Where do I see AVAX go? I still see AVAX go and hit this target area down here that is located between the 88.7% FIB level and the 78.6% FIB level at $25 and $39. Yeah, so this is where I would see the price go. This is where most altcoins have already corrected into. Many altcoins have reached the target area already. Considering that Bitcoin has not completed its correction yet, and if you want to know more about that, check out my Bitcoin videos, I would expect AVAX also to reach it. I mean, from where we are now, for AVAX to reach that price area, it would need to drop around 45%. That is realistic if we say Bitcoin would drop maybe another 30% or so, because altcoins typically are more volatile than Bitcoin. And this is also likely. I mean, I have to assume it as long as we are still in this descending channel, because look at where AVAX did move here. AVAX is quite volatile. So AVAX did, obviously after its all-time high, moved down here all the way to $77, then moved up again to 124, then moved down again here to 55. So it is very volatile, and now it's moved up again to the resistance level of that channel, and the next step could be to hit the support level of that channel, and that would be pretty much here at around, yeah, if that happened today, at around $30, honestly. I mean, it never happens in one day. It can't just break down, you know, from up here to, it would be ridiculous. But it is an up and down. Even if it goes down, yeah, and the tendency would be down, nothing goes down in a straight line, okay? So at the moment, AVAX not only lost the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average, no, it did also lose the 0.5 FIB level, so that is resistance. The next resistance level would be at $78. As you can see here, the $78 level. And the next support level, that would be the 61.8% FIB level, where it also found support here on the 23rd of January, 24th of January. That is the 61.8% FIB level at $62. That would be the next main support. And if it loses that, I think then there is not much support left. Then it can really fairly quickly drop to that, yeah, that $40 or $38 level, that 78.6% FIB level. That is generally my interpretation of this. Yeah, that is also what I see here. We see a 5-wave move to the downside that could be emerging here, with the last leg here still to come, the last wave down. I know it looks very bullish, AVAX generally, because it is doing better than many other cryptos. But what we need to understand is that we have a death cross here on the chart. It lost the 50-day moving average. It lost the 200-day moving average. And as long as this is the case and it cannot get it back, you know, we have to be understanding that this is not a bullish sign. Yeah, this is just what it is. And if I add the EMA ribbon here to the chart, you can see we even had a short signal here on the 8-hour chart. I mean, the 8-hour is not maybe that meaningful, but on the daily chart as well, we had that short signal back here on the 11th of January. Since then, the price has been dropping, even though there was some temporary upside, but it has been dropping since. And we are below the EMA ribbon. Yeah, so on the 8-hour chart, on the daily chart, if we take a look at the VPVR, historic volume, where we'll find a lot of support. Yeah, and that is very close here to that $62, 61.8% FIB level. Here it shows a cluster of support at $65. So it's pretty much this zone between $62 and $65 where we'll have a lot of support. So that would be really, really the next main support level. If we look at the indicators, let me just hide the VPVR again. Here on the daily chart, if we are taking a look here on the daily chart on the RSI, there is no bullish momentum. Yeah, not really. So we can see the RSI is just following the price at the moment. It's in the bearish range, so below 50. So this is not a buy signal or anything at all. The MACD is actually pointing to the downside as well, which would be a sell signal. Yeah, it's also not turning around yet, so we cannot see that yet. If I go and take a look at the more imminent price moves, so let's take a look on the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we can see actually a bit of a bullish crossover on the MACD, but then again, the stochastic RSI is now already nearly overbought again, so that would indicate that at some point here you're actually going to turn around again. So only now a bullish crossover on the 4-hour MACD, but the stochastic RSI already nearly overbought, which would indicate that, yeah, you can actually expect here some downside at some point then again. And you can see that the RSI has not really started to move actually. So there is not really a lot of bullish momentum going on here on the AVAX chart. So from that point of view, unless we really get back above the 50-day and the 200-day moving average, and then ideally break out of that descending channel, I would personally wait here. Be careful, yeah, for anybody who's entering any long, short-term trades. Because, we are still in sideways movement, we are in consolidation clearly, yeah. And as long as we really break out of a pattern here, I would argue that we are still here in a consolidation. And the market is heading sideways, is heading down potentially. It hasn't really lost key support yet, so otherwise we probably would drop down much faster. But yeah, there is no clear buy signal here at the moment. And one more thing maybe to mention here, as you can see, we have a temporary trend line here as well. So what could happen here is that between this descending trend line, this ascending trend line, we're heading here further into the apex in the next few days, and that could take another week or so. And then you get a decision point here out of that triangle, yeah, where you have support here at the moment at $71, $72, and the resistance level today would be at $86. So this is AVAX heading sideways. It is generally considered a neutral pattern, that symmetrical triangle, but because you're coming from above and you're basically in a short-term downtrend, you could argue that it might be more likely actually to break this to the downside, yeah. And that this here, what we are doing at the moment, is only a consolidation after this strong downtrend that we saw from the 2nd of January to the 22nd of January, where the price did fall from around $120 to $56. So all you're doing now is just consolidating, ready for the next drop down. In my view, that would be more likely as well, because we are below the 50 and below the 200-day moving average, and we have created this death cross, and the MACD is still heading further down. That would be my primary expectation. Things can change if the price breaks above this to the upside of this triangle, and then as well would break out of the this descending channel. Then things can change, and if we do that, my view would be that the price target could be one of these previous highs, for example that $130 level, or even the all-time high at around $150 US. But for that, it's too early to say, and at the moment it just means waiting, because sideways is also a direction, not a direction anybody really likes. But yeah, as the market is in sideways consolidation, sometimes it's important just to sit back and wait for the market to make a decision. From my point of view, what we need to do is to reach at some point this yellow target area. Now again, that won't happen in one move, but it is important to really correct AVAX down, because if AVAX is not corrected down, I mean, look at the RSI on the weekly, it's around 50, quite high compared to many other cryptos, and that just means that should Bitcoin move to new all-time highs at any point, that AVAX will struggle to move up that much, because the RSI is already fairly high on the weekly, which leaves less space than to the upside. Yeah, so it would just be good for everybody if AVAX could correct down further, bring that weekly RSI down as well, because otherwise it might not perform that well in the next major run to the upside. Okay, that's here my view on AVAX Avalanche. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe, and also leave a comment for the algorithm. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, where you can get access to the Telegram live chat, the Discord server, with a lot of additional content, and also a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.